G'day, Stu from UAV Futures here, and welcome back to another episode of UAV Features. Now what these are bonus, sporadic, pretty random episodes where we talk about some things that aren't drones. So, we've done some on electric skateboards, on 3D printers, on FPV planes, whole bunch of things that aren't necessarily drones. It's bonus content for you guys. If you don't like it, well, no one's forcing you to watch it, I hope. Now what we're checking out today, this is the OHM board, and out of all the boards that I've got, I have to give this one the most credit. I've probably had this board pretty much since I went on holidays, which was quite a long time ago, and it really has deserved to be on the channel. And I want to show you guys UAV Futures is all about enriching people's lives, giving them experiences, things they enjoy, things they can get outside, do with their friends. And that's why I love FPV. And I've got to admit that sort of when you're going around for a skate with your friends on electric boards, it is sort of the same feeling. You feel free. It's a great way to get out, explore new places, meet new people, do a cool hobby. It's exciting, it's fun, it's exhilarating. A lot of the same feelings I get with that I get when I'm riding around on a board with my mates as well. But what we're checking out today is this, I guess I'm going to say it's one of the best cheap Chinese boards that you can get. Yes, there's some others out there that cost thousands of dollars, but for the price, this is, as far as I'm concerned, the best budget option on the market. It has a ton of features. We're going to go through all those, but the main part, let's go out, have some fun now, and then after that, we'll do a little bit of a hill climb, see how it goes up some steep hills, and then we'll hand over to Crash Test Cal towards the end, and he's really going to run you down through the techs and the specs, because look, I originally did do that, but he did such a good job at the end, I don't want to cover that stuff twice, so we'll save you some time. All the techs and the specs and the technical details are at the end of this video, but let's go have some fun with the OHM board and find out, is this sort of electric skateboard hobby going to be for you and what you might just be missing out on. Alright, let's do it. I'm going to link these down below because there's a couple of different versions, but some of the facts out of the way. It's got a top speed, this one of about 35 kilometers per hour. I'll put that in whatever miles it is on the screen, and I'm getting about 25 kilometers in distance, and that's up quite some hilly terrain as well. It go over a whole bunch of different sort of environments, and whether it be gravel, smooth roads, some pavers, wooden bridges, all that sort of stuff. It handles it really, really well. All the little sticks and stones on the track seems to bounce right over them. They bounce out from under it. That was something I was worried about when I first started riding boards, but you don't need to worry about that. And it is really one of the best ways you can get out and experience the local parks around you. It is such a blast. Get together with some friends, put some drones on your bag, on your backpack. You're going to have an awesome day. Now, as far as cheap boards come, this is about as good as they get, the quality you're going to get. And if you're going to get one of these, definitely please get some safety gear, please, because that's something I want to really, really stress. Never go anywhere without your safety gear on. All right, we're going to do a little bit of a hill test. So we've got this gnarly hill behind us. We're going to try and ride up it and see if we can do it, see if the board can handle it, because it's a pretty steep slope, pretty steep slope. I can't talk properly. Got some warnings, all those sorts of things. So let's do it, see if we can get up there. Ready? You reckon we will?
Oh, yeah.
It's touch and go, yeah.
I can't even tell you what the angle would be, but it's pretty
I can.
steep.
Is that 25%? I don't know.
I don't know, it's steep.
Oh, I think this part's too steep. Get out of my way. Oh. Okay, I think it's too tight of turning for me.
The turn's too hard.
Nah. Alright, this part here, we didn't really get too far. Now, a segment a lot of people value a lot, especially in these board reviews. We've got Crash Test Cal over here. He's kind of the master. He's been doing it even longer than I have, and his board of choice is an OHM board as well. So what do you think about, I want to know what you think about the OHM boards, what some of the differences, what do you like, what would you change, and I guess your overall opinion of, because you've got quite a few decks as well, but what do you think about this one, and why is OHM board your main one?
Well, I've had my own board for about 6 months. So
oh, your one is a bit different to mine, I should mention as well. This one's got a few different upgrades, but yep, go for it.
So my board's almost about 6 months old now, and at the time I did all the research I could and compared all the cheaper Chinese boards that were on the market, and for my money, this turned out to be the best board that I could find for a number of reasons, which we'll get into now. So look, one of the things that really drew me to this board is it had purpose. It had a kind of a heavier duty truck on it, whereas the others were a little bit iffy, and there'd been complaints of them breaking. I won't mention the manufacturers. I believe some of them have upgraded their trucks now. But these came at the start with really great trucks on it, which was really important to me. Another good thing about the Ohm board.
Hang on 1 second.
Another good thing about the Ohm board is it also came with metal enclosures for your battery and for your ESC, which was also a big point for me because all the other cheaper Chinese boards had plastic and was obviously prone to damage. So these are a bit tougher. They work like heat sinks as well because they are a sort of alloy.
Something I want to mention too is you can really tighten this down to make it even more waterproof. So I know when you're riding yours, you've cleaned yours, but if we look at mine is absolutely filthy. I ride it all the time. Cal tells me I should clean it, but yeah, I think having the metal is definitely a big positive.
And look, one thing I'll say about these hub-driven boards too is they don't require a lot of maintenance, fortunately for Stu, because he'd be in trouble. So they don't require a lot of maintenance. They just keep on going. All you have to do really is change out the bearings, the front bearings occasionally.
Have you done that yet?
No, not yet.
Yep.
And I've been riding it. I've put a lot of hours on this board, but it is due for one now. The urethane is holding up really well, I must say, after almost 6 months of abuse. The urethanes I haven't swapped out yet and don't show any real sign of extreme wear.
What do you think about the price versus some of the other boards? For like the 440, I think they start at about $430, $440 shipped. What do you think about that versus some of the other boards out there?
Look, when you consider all the pluses with this board, it comes with a fantastic remote. Now, these were one of the first guys to incorporate one of these wheels, one of these booster board style remotes, and since then all the other manufacturers have followed suit and got into the same remote. Now, this has been a beautiful remote. It's given us really precise control, and I've never had a problem with it. Always a strong link, and I love it. So that's been a good thing about this board as well. And
do you like the haptic feedback that it's got?
I love it. Yeah, that's fantastic. I prefer that over any kind of beep system or any other kind of alarm system. Just to have that little bit of vibration in the hand is fantastic. And people criticise it too because it doesn't have a really specific battery readout on it. It just has 4 LEDs, and I find that to be absolutely adequate for the kind of board these are, because they're not going to give you an accurate reading or reflection of what the battery level really is. So that's more than adequate in my view. I know Stu's board is a slightly upgraded board than mine. It's got a newer ESC, and it also has an LCD readout on the side.
It's pretty filthy, so you kind of need to clean it to see it. There you go, just turn it on there, but yeah.
And that'll give you a more precise percentage readout, which I don't really care about. That's a waste of time and money for me. But so this board has just been absolutely great. The decks on them are fantastic. They're one of the few manufacturers that have a bowed concave deck, and that's been really good. It's very flexible. It's shown no sign of breaking in any way, shape or form, and I'm around 90 kilo, so it's supporting my weight just fine. But also, if you do need to change the hub motors out, you can also do it very easily with this motors. Now, Ohm board are also offering replaceable urethane motors, so when the time comes you can actually replace out the whole motor. Then if you wear the urethane down at a later point, you can just replace the urethane by itself and keep the motor. This older version, you cannot do that. If anything goes wrong here, if you wear out the urethane or hurt the motor, you've got to replace the whole unit. But it is very easy to replace because it's one of the few board manufacturers that have an actual connection between the ESC and the motor, so they can be hot swapped.
I'll put a picture on the screen of that as well.
Yeah. So look, all I can say is that
I got to say, what one do you prefer to ride out of these two in terms of the deck options? Because I know I got the phone when I got mine. I bought a bigger battery, and I also got like an upgraded little deck part. Do you prefer this foamy stuff over the grip tape, or what do you prefer?
At first, because when you first start riding an electric skateboard, it takes a while for your legs and your muscles to get used to everything, particularly the vibration. But after a while, you become immune to it. So at first, I would have definitely appreciated an EVA deck like this because it absorbs a little bit of vibration. But now it doesn't really worry me. A sandpaper deck like this is just fine, and this is held up just great. So yeah, no, I'm very happy with this. Also, I'd like to say, you know, Ohm board, if you go onto their website and have a look at their products, you might think they're a bit more expensive than the other Chinese board manufacturers, but that's because shipping is included. And they also have a great range of battery options. You're not just confined to one small Samsung battery. They've got a whole host of options. So
You got the 6.4
I got a
as well.
6.4 LG. I don't think they offer that now. I think they offer a 6.0 Samsung 2500 cell. You've got the Sanyo cell, which is what the biggest and the best you can get, which will give you quite a good range. I'm getting about 20 kilometres out of my 6.4 LG, so I've got no complaints there. Another nice little thing about OwnBoard is they come with these bumpers. Some other manufacturers make you buy those as an extra, but they just come with the OwnBoard, which is great. I will say about the control of the board as well. I did mention what a great remote that it does have, but out of all the boards we've ridden, we feel most confident, both Stu and I feel most confident on the OwnBoard, just because of the way the acceleration curve is, the way the braking curve is.
And I think it fits your hand nice too. Like we've got an Evolve board too, which is how much an Evolve board? Like $2,000?
Couple of thousand Australian, yeah.
So and that remote is quite big. So this one I find it does. That bird is super noisy, but yeah, I really find this one fits in your hand quite well.
Yeah. So all in all, this has been a very good board for us, and one I'd definitely recommend for other people. Remember, it's got these metal enclosures, which is a great selling point, a concave deck, it's got heavy duty trucks, bushings that you can swap out for heavier or lighter. It's got a lot of pluses, and more pluses than perhaps other Chinese made boards. But they're all evolving at a pretty rapid rate of knots, so keep your eye on them all because they're all getting better. Month by month.
Now most of our audience is probably from drones, Cal, but what would you say to those people who think this sounds like an interesting idea, something they want to try out?
I'd say go for it 100%. Some people might look at electric skateboards and think they're very dangerous and remember the days of their childhood when skateboards did not have brakes and we all got smashed up going down a hill. So a lot of people still have those memories.
That's actually how I broke my face when I was at uni. That true story. Down a mountain, it was ridiculous. But yeah, I love how these things have brakes. But yeah, continue.
A lot of people have had experiences like that and they tend to shy away from an electric skateboard because they just see danger straight away. But what I will say is, like, I'm 48 years old. I've only had one accident on my electric skateboard and it wasn't that big of a deal. I did expect to have many more, but I haven't. I've got quite a few hundred hours logged on these things.
And you had all your safety gear on too.
I had all my safety gear on and that helped for sure. But
that's because Cal just didn't see, he ran over a pine cone.
Yeah.
So I got stuck under his wheel.
But look, it's been a great board and I'd suggest if anyone has a tendency to want to have a go on one of these, they're cheap enough now you can just dive in and the quality's there. You're not gonna, we've had no real problems with these. They've just worked flawlessly and not much maintenance. They've been great. They've really enhanced our FPV life as well because it's allowed us to get into places like this, go deep into parks which we normally wouldn't have access to and have a great time doing it. So if you have a tendency to want to have a go on these, I'd say, jump in.
All right. Nice. Thanks, Cal. That was pretty comprehensive.
No
Cheers.
worries.
Should we go have a burn?
Let's do it.